It's a pleasure to be with all of you on this auspicious day of honoring your poems. The poet gods are with us, praising poetry as sustenance for the world during these troubled times. I'm Ellen Woods, and I will be emceeing today as Elise Kazanjian is ill and cannot attend. So we send her our wishes for a quick recovery. First, I'd like to introduce the woman who makes all this possible. Eileen Malone, the founder and director of this yearly competition. She will give us a history of SMK.
Thank you. Let me just make sure. 1992 was our very first contest, and it was just a soul making contest, and it was small. And it evolved, people joined us, people wanted to be part of it. Now we're 13 categories across the nation. We have judges and sponsors across the nation. We're expanding. We have no idea what tomorrow will bring, but we will come along for the ride. We really truly existed in the beginning to validate and motivate and kickstart and praise the creative efforts of people around us who may not have an opportunity. First of all, they can't afford the fees to enter a lot of contests, which are usually in the $20 area, and ours is $5. So we're keeping it affordable. We're keeping it open. We have, let's see if I got that quote here. Yeah, here it is. The words open, generous, and sincere, used to describe the poet John Keats after his tragic early death, characterize our contest. That's, whoops, sorry, I just hit something here. Okay, I'm still here. We continue to go. We're open to sponsors and we're open to judges. Some people have come and joined us and left. Some people have come and joined us and will never leave. They're definitely a part of this whole scheme. I have no idea how much longer we'll be going. We're going to keep going as long as there's a need for us and we can fill it. And we appreciate every single one of you so much for all you're doing. You have no idea the lives that you are affecting. Some of us get little emails, some of us get thank you cards. I get a lot of those and I so appreciate them. And they're all from people who have been unrecognized up until now, who really didn't have much of a chance. And now they have a chance. And some of them, my God, we've got to put them back. They're publishing books all over the place. They're winning prizes. They're starting up their own magazines, literary. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So I'm full of hope and joy and happiness with all of you being here today. And let's get this show on the road.
Thanks, Eileen, for all you do. Next, I will be introducing the judges of each category, who will introduce the winners. Regretfully, honorable mentions will not read today, a decision that we made based on time parameters. Please note that the winners are also listed on our website, soulmaking.contest.us. Carol Lynn Grellas is the judge of the young adult poetry category. Carol Lynn.
It's an honor to be here, my first time as a judge for the Soul Making Keats contest. I especially love judging the young category since that's when I fell in love with poetry back when I was, I think, a freshman in high school, and my English teacher, Mr. Hagee, introduced me to Emily Dickinson. So it's my pleasure to introduce the honorable mentions and then the first, second, and third prize winners of this category. Honorable mentions, I have Channie Hong for Treasures and Freedom Strange for Anatomy of a Wish. And third prize, and she's not here today, is Channie Hong for Balance And I do have the poem here, so I guess if that's all right, I'll read it for her. I chose it because you won't be able to see this, but it was a concrete poem. It's called Balance, and it was kind of clever because it's written in the shape of an hourglass. So it begins, balance. I stood on sand in the top globe of an hourglass. Slow golden grains trickle under me in this gift from my parents, each grain their blessing, our dream for my future. Once I ignored these offerings, relished the dwindling of their impact on my childhood, thinking it's my life after all. I wanted to forge my own path in a hazy enigma called life outside the glass. I longed to stay on top of the pile, but disregarded tips other than what I told myself as walls of my mind, stubborn and unrealistic, closed in on me. Still, my parents, faithful to the end, helped me balance the grains slipping away, even as their voices faded. When time arrived for me to ease through the hole, to land on top of the new world without them to steer me. I stand in rain of glistening grains that whisper guidance as needed past the corners of my vision and into my heart. Now in the hourglass's lower dome, I feel sheltered and soon realize maturity. Now I appreciate offered help, even seeking it, as the hills beneath and around me grow. I maintain my balance, feel the building power of the golden grains. Now my parents' blessings unearth a way to brighten, filling up the murk and refining rough places that once controlled my mind outside the glass. I hear the world calling my name and pulling me away. I sense my swelling readiness to release the protection of my home for so long. Now grown up, I have but one mission left before yet another flip of the hourglass, expressing my wholehearted gratitude for the devoted support granted in my childhood. And second place winner is Freedom Strange for the poem Song for an Outcast 2. Freedom is not here. This is a short poem. I'll go ahead and read this one too. Song for an Outcast 2. I borrowed my history from your stars and your legends. I pulled down shards of the night and sang the stories of your gods to explain my birth. I am your degenerate, your disowned child, your shattered soul. We are the ones you called half-breed, half-formed, good for nothing, confused all these years you have burned us, and now we rise from the ashes of our death. I am perhaps a nightmare creature for you. I am the monster that you cannot ever kill. You cannot destroy us, for we have become demigods, the children of the stars. Okay, and in first place, I'm proud to announce that Kai Mao is the winner with her poem Music, My Music. And Kai, you are here to read your poem, I believe.
Yep. Hello, my name is Kai Mao. I use they, he pronouns, and I'm a high school from Irvine, California. I've played piano for 12 years and trumpet for 7, and have always had a connection with music, which is the topic of my sonnet. I close my eyes and take a deep breath in, then out like waves the sound of trumpet flows. I ease and pay no mind to what has been, and up and down the scales my music goes. My worries fade as rhythm finds its way, and finally my soul can shine its light. It warms me like the sunlight of the day, it listens like the silence of the night. And if I could be known just as I want, a person born of melody and song, is what I choose, but not so I could flaunt, but so I'd always know what makes me strong. Amidst the brightest reds and deepest blues, my music brings me life and pulls me through. Thank you.
Thank you, Kai. That was beautiful. Congratulations. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Carolyn. Aileen Cassinetto is the judge of the poetry category. Aileen?
Thank you, Ellen. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Eileen Cassinetto. I'm the Poet Laureate of San Mateo County. It's been an honor to judge the Janice Farrell Poetry Prize. I wish to thank Kathleen McClung and SMK founder Eileen Malone for inviting me. There were over, I think, 400 entries this year with so many exceptionally well-crafted poems. My only criterion was that I wanted to be startled. Whether formal or free verse, I wanted tightly crafted lines and strong imagery with language that is fresh and clear. There was no doubt for me who the top 3 winners and 10 honorable mentions are. I wish to emphasize that the entries were judged blindly. Thank you to everyone who submitted their work, and special thanks to the amazingly gifted poets, Heather Bourbeau, Abby Kaplan, Robert Eastwood, Terry Glass, Luis Concho, Cecile Marcaro, Lynette Sweeney, Christy Shepard, Bethany Wallace, Diane Moomey, Rafaella Del Bourgo, and Wendy Videlock. Without further ado, in 3rd place, the poem Walking by Half Moon Bay's Diane Moomey, master of formal verse, painter, educator, and author, most recently of Make for Higher Ground. Congratulations and welcome, Diane.
Thank you so much, Eileen. This has been just a wonderful experience, and I feel so held and supported in this poetry world, and you're a big star in it. You and Kathleen and Eileen. Well, here I am with the poem, Walking. We used to summer side by side, the humans talking, singing, raking garden beds. Bees would fly, collecting gold, but now too many bees are walking. To sage and aster, rose and foxglove, they'd be flocking, buzzing. Stings, we'd weed and watch with wary eye. We used to summer side by side, the humans talking, spreading fertilizer, brown and yellow, stalking every stamen, humming under sunny sky, collecting gold. Now too many bees are walking, shrubs are empty. Look, crossing pavement, shocking, a single individual on foot. Why? We used to summer side by side, we humans talking, frowning about organics' lower yields, and mocking the huggers of trees. We have to live. We justify collecting gold. But now too many bees are walking. Climate changing may be not my fault, balking at the call to alter habits some defy, refuse to summer side by side. Some humans talking, collecting gold. What now? Too many bees are walking.
Diane, thank you. Just gorgeous, gorgeous villanelle and beautifully read. Thank you so much. Next, I'm delighted to award 2nd place to poet and educator Rafaella Del Bourgo of Berkeley, California for her poem Lilacs. Rafaella couldn't join us today, so I will be reading her poem. Lilacs for TR. I'm not sure how long it'll take, but it won't be pretty. And I don't need your help doing it. Do not feel you have to wait around and watch me die. There is no need to cling. If you fall in love with another man and hop on that train, I'll watch your face pressed up against the window, your features a blur of distance and speed. I'll go home and make a margarita, light a joint, slide into my hammock, dream of oysters on the barbecue, line dancing music, and all my beautiful lovers. I will dream of the past. And if when I awake in late afternoon sun, I see your gray eyes, curious, staring, I will take your hand, and together we can breathe in lilacs, the pale purple kind, so improbably fragrant, though the blossoms last only a few brief weeks in spring. Thank you, Rafaella. Last but definitely not least, this poet has excellent command of language and form and is the author of several collections that evoke myth and the natural world. The first place winner is none other than Wendy Videlock of Palisade, Colorado, for her stunning poem, Deconstruction. Our gracious host, Ellen Woods, will be reading Wendy's poem.
Deconstruction. The chickadee is all about truth. The finch is a token. The albatross is always an omen. The kestrel is mental. The lark is luck. The grouse is dance. The goose is quest. The need for speed is given the peregrine, and the dove's been blessed with the feminine. The quail is word and culpability. The crane is the dean of poetry. The swift is the means to agility. The waxwind, mere civility. The sparrow, a nod to working class nobility. The puffins, the brother of laughter, and prayer, the startling, the student of Baudelaire. The mockingbird is the sound of redress. The grackle, the uncle of excess. The flicker is rhythm. The ostrich is earth. The bluebird, a simple symbol of mirth. The oriole is the fresh start. The magpie, prince of the dark arts. The swallow is home and protection. The vulture, the priest of purification. The heron is a font of self-reflection. The swisher belongs to the fairy realm. Resourcefulness is the cactus red. The pheasant is sex. The chicken is egg. The eagle is free. The canary, the bringer of ecstasy. The martin is peace. The stork is release. The swan is the mother of cool discretion. The loon is the watery voice of the moon. The owl's the keeper of secrets, grief, and fresh fallen snow. And the crow has the bones of ancestral soul. Okay, well, thank you, Eileen. Next, Elise Kazanjian and I are the co-judges of the prose poem, and I'll introduce and tell you about the prose poem and read the honorable mentions. As you know, Elise is not able to be here today. The prose poem is something Elise and I have had the honor of judging for the last 3 years, and we were excited to read so many outstanding poems this year. We had trouble at arriving at the winning poems. A prose poem reads like a poem, but looks like prose with no line breaks. Poets do amazing things with these parameters. We finally agreed wholeheartedly on the winners. The honorable mentions are Carla Passion, Why You Shouldn't Google Your Rapist, Louise Moises, Why I Drove 3,000 Miles to New Jersey, Laura Wolf, What I Wore, Abby Kaplan, Ways to Know Your Father Has Alzheimer's, Dorothy Paul, Survivor, Frances Flavin, The Grass Chimera, Angie Minkin, Life Lessons. Congratulations. Let's give a hand for all these fabulous poets. The third prize winner is Sandra Anfang, who will read her winning piece, Twirling. Sandra?
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you so much to all the hosts, both Eileen's, Ellen, Elise, I hope she's doing well, Kathleen for hosting this wonderful contest, and for choosing my poem. It's Twirling. I practice saying no to something every day, even as happiness gurus and improv teachers exhort us to say yes. I have been obsequious for much of my life, though my parents chided me for stubbornness and tried to break my will. My mother insisted that we sisters try on each new dress and twirl for daddy because he earned the money to pay for them. My father looked bored or sheepish. Very nice, he'd say, waving dismissively. We girls compared notes, found we felt like lamb shanks hanging from the meat hooks in Mr. Lipschitz's butcher shop. I'm not going to tell you that abuse followed. There was little that I remember. What sticks is the humiliation of the plastic ballerina in the jewelry box, twirling for acknowledgement, for acceptance, for her right to inhabit the world of man. In shul on Saturdays, my beaming father introduced us with the Hebrew word for herd, 4 daughters who would someday bring a good bride price. There's a prayer observant Jewish men recite each morning, thanking God for not making them a woman. I practice saying no to something every day.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you so much. The second prize winner is Lynda La Rocca, who will read her winning piece, Preparing to Take a History. Lynda?
Thank you so much. I am absolutely thrilled and honored to be here and thrilled that you chose my poem. And it's called Preparing to Take a History. Did you come to see me or the metastases? Did you come to hold my hand against the dark? If you'd listen, if you'd like, I will tell you who I am. Inside this shrunken, sunken skin, I am a golden ray of light. Look at me. Look in my eyes. I am bold. I am wise. I love laughter, but I cry lying here, now an object of your fear. I bake bread. I still sing. I look forward to the spring. Lilacs are my favorite flower. I can speak a foreign language, and I know the songs of 47 birds. I write poems. I miss my dog. Would you stay a little longer? This is not the way I'd choose to bring my story to its end. Would you see me as I truly am, undying spirit? Would you please respect my dignity? Look past disintegration. Would you call me by my name? And would you smile? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lynda. And now, our wonderful first prize winner is Kathleen L. Meadows, who will now read Waiting for the Rain. Kathleen?
Well, thank you so much, Ellen. I'm so honored and thrilled to be here, and wanted to thank all of you, the judges, and wanted to thank Kathleen because she really inspired a love of poetry for me, and Elise Kazanjian and Ellen Woods for introducing me to the prose poem that I really have grown to love. So the name of my poem, as Ellen said, is Waiting for Rain. If I was ankle deep in water, maybe it wouldn't feel so strange. The solar system and beyond is awash in water. Space is water. To comfort myself, I search for a glass to fill from the tap. Think of dead flowers after the deluge. How the world goes dark after clouds fill their swollen bellies. The stream that borders my house dried up like leaves in a bowl of dust. Silence ruled among the oaks. Not a note before the rains finally came. Is it lack of water that leaves black bears, barn owls, and honeybees homeless? Are great blue herons starving for rain? Yesterday, I was aware of a quiet thirst inside my gut, like a camel in the Bronx Zoo. I felt the first rain as pinpricks of pain, drops falling into a bottomless cistern. Maybe I don't want to ever leave this hunger for water. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. Let's give a hearty round of applause for each of the winners and their stunning poems. Okay, so Kathleen McClung is the judge for the sonnet category, and she will introduce the category, read the honorable mentions, and introduce the readers. Kathleen?
Thank you so much, Ellen, and thank you everybody who's read so far. I'm just blown away by the beauty of the poetry that I'm hearing. The sonnet may be my favorite form of poetry. I read a lot of sonnets, I write a lot of sonnets. There's something about the 14 lines, the little jewel quality that just so appeals to me. I've been teaching sonnets in my classes over the years, and I make sure to introduce students to Shakespeare's sonnets, but also to contemporary sonnets. And people writing sonnets now are doing so many wonderful things with the form. And the winners and honorable mentions this year did wonderful things as well. There are some traditional sonnets and there are some experimental sonnets. I think of the form as pretty malleable. So I want to congratulate the honorable mentions. The 7 honorable mentions are Diane Lee Moomey for Standoff, Barbara Lydecker Crane for House of Cards, Jan Diederich for Wildflower Love, Corey Jan Albert for Why I Eat Ice Cream Every December 4th, Cecile Marcado for Sonata in the Key of Hat, Catherine Howd Machen for Bereaved, and Robert Eastwood for Charlie. And I'm completely delighted that our 3rd prize winner has just joined us. We were hoping she would, and she has. I was ready to read her poem on her behalf, but she is with us now. So please welcome Wendy Videlock, who'll be reading her 3rd prize poem, The Inquiry. Wendy.
Thank you, Kathleen. I am so sorry for I had the time all wrong and was outside gardening. So thank you, and I'm so glad I got here in time. So just to confirm, this is the inquiry. Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. All right. This is a little sonnet I wrote for my daughter. The Inquiry. Who left it there? The child asked while gazing at the harvest moon. What could I say that wouldn't turn her wonder into something tied up in a knot of grown-up words she'd know at once to be a lie? That rock that moves around the world contains not a shred of light. Illusion is a lovely sight. Reflection is the only Christ. In all her wisdom, I finally said, God left it there. One day you'll swim across the sky and touch her hair, for God is the other mother of you, and she balloons and wanes over the mesa for you. That which is false is also true. All mothers and moons know this to be true. Thank you all so much, and congratulations to everybody. What a wonderful day to be here. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Wendy. I'm so happy to hear you read your poem and so glad that you stopped gardening for a little while and joined us. I hope you can return to gardening and enjoy the rest of the day when we're all done. I'm very honored next to introduce to you our 2nd prize winner in the category of sonnet, Angie Minkin, who will be reading Fisherwoman at 101.
Thank you, Kathleen. And thank you, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here. This is such a great contest. And thank you, Eileen and Kathleen for putting it on every year. And thank you to all of the judges. And Ellen, all right. What a great job you're doing as MC. Fabulous. Thank you. So I actually learned about the sonnet from Kathleen McClung at one of the first classes I took at the writing salon. And I love the sonnet. I love the form. There's something about those 14 lines that forces me as a poet to be concise and crisp, and yet at the same time come up with imagery that's effective and moving. I'm also inspired by older women, especially as I age. And when I read about Virginia Oliver in the newspaper and how she was still out on the sea fishing for a lobster at 101, I was just blown away. So I dug into her life a little bit more and wrote this sonnet. Fisherwoman at 101 for Virginia Oliver. Old woman, I watch you, I see you sail, slowly now and stooped, but how you endure, your steel mind, stronger than the wire trailing traps set with fish, hoagies they're called, to lure in the lobster. Oh yes, I envy you, Virginia, vital, vivacious, your bright aura. You haul those lobsters with can-do spirit, age-spotted hands, face carved with light, alive, alive on Maine salty cold sea. Stay home, woman. Why are you still out there? Doc asked, stitching your nipped fingers. I'm free, you say. I love the water, the clean air, working with my son. Love it, you sigh, wink. You're wise. This game ends sooner than we think. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Angie. And I was astonished and blown away in a positive way when I learned that Angie was the author of that poem. I had assumed the author lived in Maine because the poem was honoring a Maine fisherwoman. And when I learned after awarding the prize to Angie that, oh my goodness, it was written by a Californian, it heartened me that we poets have, the ability to write about anything and anyone, anywhere. So bravo to you, Angie, for a beautiful poem. Finally, I'm extremely honored and pleased to introduce the first prize winner in the category of sonnet, Barbara Lydecker Crane, who will be reading her beautiful, beautiful poem, My Other Life. Barbara.
Oh, thank you. Gosh, thank you, Ellen, Kathleen, Eileen, everyone who's here, the poets, the judges. What a great community. And what a great event. I'm so pleased to be part of it. Actually, I'm sitting here with a broken foot and my boot up on a chair. So the Zoom is all the more welcome. It's just an opportunity. Let me just start super briefly by saying that the poem I'm going to read is part of a collection of 80 ekphrastic poems, each one about a particular artist and a particular portrait painting that they did. The book will be called You Will Remember Me, and it's going to be coming out by Able Muse Press probably in the next year or so, maybe less, we'll see. So my poem is called My Other Life, and it refers to a painting you can find online called I and My Model, painted in 1929 or 1930 by Lotte Lasserstein, who lived, well, you don't need to know when she lived, but she was kind of whatever, sort of 1900 to 1990, lived in Germany and then Sweden. In the 20s, before the brown shirts rise, A woman like me could live almost as free as a man. We seldom saw chastising eyes when walking arm in arm, my model and me. Rose was slim and striking, and she was bolder, tougher. Here she stands in just a slip and rests a hand lightly on my shoulder. Then came the tightened screws of Nazi grip, and Jewish artists weren't allowed to show their work or even buy supplies. Escaping to Sweden, I wept that Rose refused to go. I'm drawing children's portraits now and scraping by. This work I keep recalls the time, how could I know it then? That was my prime. Thank you. Thank you.
Glorious work, Barbara. Thank you very much. I am so eager to read your book. I am so eager to lay hands on that book. Thank you very much for reading today.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you and congratulations to all of the Sonnet winners and honorable mentions. And now back to Ellen.
Thank you, Kathleen. So this concludes the poetry section of the award ceremony. And we invite you to stay zoomed in for a 10-minute meet and greet immediately afterwards. Keep writing.